When I first met Jamie, he was just my foster brother, a quiet, observant boy who arrived at our house one rainy April afternoon with nothing but a backpack and eyes that looked like they'd seen too much for his age. I was 14 then, just a year younger than him, and we were both still learning what it meant to belong to someone. Over the years, we grew into a rhythm. He was the stillness to my storm, the quiet anchor during my loudest teenage rebellions. People assumed we were close because we were raised under the same roof. And we were, but not in the way they thought. Time passed. We went our separate ways. I moved to the city for college. He joined a nonprofit that rebuilt homes after wildfires. For a while, we didn't talk much. Life got busy, complicated. I started dating someone serious. So did he. But nothing felt quite right with anyone else. There was always this tug I couldn't explain, a thread pulling me back to the home we both left behind. When our foster parents planned their 30th wedding anniversary, they asked us to come home. "It won't be the same without both of you," a mom had said. I agreed, not thinking much of it. It was just a weekend. A few pictures, some wine, a toast. Then back to real life. Or so I thought. The night before the celebration, Jamie and I sat out on the old porch swing, the sky wrapped in stars. It had been years since we'd had a real conversation, just the two of us. The silence between us wasn't uncomfortable. It had weight. Familiar, steady. But that night, it started to feel different. He glanced over at me, his voice low. "You ever think about how strange it is? We were just two strangers placed in the same house, and somehow, it worked." I smiled. "It worked because you let it. You were the first person who made me feel like I didn't have to try so hard to be liked." He looked away, and for a moment I thought I saw something flicker in his expression. Regret, maybe. Or hesitation. "I used to wonder what it would have been like if we met differently," he said finally. "Not as kids. Not under that roof." His words hung in the air, warm and dangerous. I didn't know what to say. My heart started beating a little faster. I laughed it off, or tried to. What, like in a coffee shop? Or crashing carts in a grocery store? He smiled, but there was no humor in it. Something like that. The silence returned. But this time, it was louder than before. It pressed against my chest, filled the spaces between his words and mine. There was something here we had never named. And it was becoming harder to ignore. "I shouldn't have said that," he said quietly. I've never told anyone, but being around you again." I stopped him. "Don't." "Why not?" he asked, turning toward me. "Because it's wrong? Or because it scares you?" I opened my mouth, but nothing came out. The next morning was full of smiles, hugs, clinking glasses. Our parents beamed. Everyone toasted to love that lasts and the beauty of family. Jamie and I kept our distance, each pretending nothing had shifted. But that night, after everyone had gone to bed, I found myself standing in the kitchen. I don't know why. Maybe I couldn't sleep. Maybe I hoped he couldn't either. He came down minutes later, barefoot, hair tousled. "Couldn't sleep?" I shook my head. We didn't speak. Just stood there, both of us holding mugs we didn't drink from. "I don't know what to do with this," I said finally, the words cracking as they escaped. "With you." He stepped closer. "Then don't do anything. Just feel it. You're allowed to be confused." I looked up at him, really looked. He wasn't the boy who once slept down the hall. He wasn't a memory from a shared past. He was something else now, familiar and foreign all at once. "I've missed you," I whispered. "I never stopped missing you," he replied. For a moment, it felt like time stopped. No labels, no rules, just the soft ache of two people finding something they didn't know they were still searching for. We didn't kiss. We didn't touch. But the silence between us spoke louder than anything we could have said. And it said everything.